When talking about living below our means, our immediate reaction is thinking things like, I don't want to live a poor life, I want to enjoy it. But what does it actually mean to live below our means? Hi guys, my name is Tanya and this is Max and Travels. Here we talk about moving abroad and managing your personal finances while doing so. If you haven't done it yet, make sure to hit the subscribe button to avoid missing other videos like this one. So what does it mean to live below your means? It simply means that you decide to keep your expenses lower than your income. Let's say that your monthly income is of 3,000 euros. If at the end of the month your balance is close to zero, you're not living below your means. You are living within your means, which is perfectly fine, but it doesn't help if you want to save up money. If, on the other hand, you would like to save up more money, I suggest you to start living below your means. Be aware, living below your means does not mean no more shopping and little pleasures. It's a strategy that involves spending less than what you earn, and it's the best way to save up money. And living below your means doesn't have to be a sacrifice. Today I want to share with you some frugal tips and habits that I use that may help you to save up money and start living below your means as well. But first I would like to do an exercise with you. Please stop the video and go and get a paper and pen. You've got it? Great! Now I would like you to write all the expenses that you have to take care of in the following week and in the full month. You can pause the video to do it and I'll see you later. You've written everything? That's great. So now I want you to highlight all the biggest expenses and circle all the expenses that are a must. You absolutely have to pay them. Now please give a look at all the expenses that you've written and see if there are any expenses that you can avoid or that you can lower. Now look at your biggest expenses, the one that you highlighted, and try to find a way to lower those down as well. And no, I'm not asking you if you can lower them or cut them down. I'm asking you to find a way to do it. Think of everything, even the things that you usually wouldn't do it. For example, let's say your bills are pretty high at the moment. Check the competition. Maybe one of the competitors have a better deal to offer. Your rent is pretty high as well. Maybe you have a spare room that you could rent either on an Airbnb or to a student for a longer term. Or you might start thinking of moving somewhere else where it's cheaper. And do this with all the expenses that you have written down. Try to find a way to cut them down or cut them completely off your expenses list. The first technique that I would like to share with you today on how to start living below your means is called the envelope system. I unconsciously used this technique when I was living in London. It was my very first time abroad and I never heard of the envelope technique. I just started doing it unconsciously. At the time I was working as an au pair in a family. If you have never heard of au pair, it's simply a young person that decides to go abroad to either learn a language or learn some new skills. In this case is childcare. So you live with a family and you look after the house and the kids while the parents are working. In exchange, the family offers room and board and a weekly pocket money. So think of an 18 years old, for the very first time in a new country, in a new incredible city. I wanted to explore. But on the other hand, I also wanted other two things. The first one was getting a tattoo, and the second one, which is not something that I really wanted, more something that I had to do, was taking an English course and paying for it by myself. So I decided to prepare 3 envelopes. In the first one I wrote travel, the second one tattoo, and the third one English course. My weekly pocket money was of £80, and this is how I divided them. I would put £20 in each envelope and £20 in my wallet as well. This way I would allow myself only to use the £20 that were already in my wallet and I would never touch the different envelopes. After a few weeks I started having a little bit extra money in my wallet, so I decided to change up the strategy. So the idea was to always keep £40 in my wallet and to divide the rest into the 3 envelopes. For example, let's say 1 week I only spent £10 out of my wallet. When I got my weekly pocket money, I would put £10 back in my wallet and divide the other £70, in the 3 envelopes. We can say that this technique is very old school, but at the same time I really believe that it's still a very effective strategy for you to use to save up money, especially if you've never done before and this is the first time that you're approaching it. So of course today we're getting paid through our bank account. So how can we do that? It's not that difficult. You just have to create some savings account, and you can do one or more than one. And every month when you receive your salary, you can manually transfer some money to the savings account, or you can also set automatic payments to your own savings account. So just in case you feel like you may forgot to do it yourself, this is automatic. You don't have to think about it. It goes directly there as soon as you receive your money. The next step for living below your means is to start shopping smart. So how can you do it? First thing, stop going into the shops just because there's a nice dress displayed or the latest popular item is just there in front of you. Ask yourself if it's something that you really need, or if you could spend your money wisely in something that could have more impact on your life. Sometimes we go shopping because we feel sad or we had a very bad day, and shopping makes us feel instantly happier. The thing is that sensation, that feeling, only lasts a few hours or maybe even a few days, but after that our life starts going back to its normal routine and we completely forget about that item that we bought. When I feel down, I now try to go on walks to clear my mind or to start writing my thoughts into my journal. I always thought that writing in a journal was stupid, but after trying it for over a year, I can say that the stupid one, it was me. I really thought that writing in a journal wasn't for me, but yeah, I let my limiting beliefs stop me for trying something different. Now, when I have those really bad days, I don't know how I could survive without writing in my journal. It really helps me out. With this, I just want to say that try to be aware of your feelings when purchasing something. Instead of letting your feelings decide, try to be conscious of what you're buying and why. It's like getting into a supermarket when you're hungry. It's certain that you will end up buying some chocolate, some chips, or whatever you're craving at that moment. While when we go grocery shopping on a full stomach, we tend to make more conscious decisions and buy what we actually need, not what we crave. And the same concept applies when buying clothes. Our emotions have a huge impact in our daily life. That's why I think it's good to start learning to understand them. So now let's summarize which are the steps that you need to take in order to start living below your means. Step number 1 is to cut your expenses, especially the biggest ones, but also the unnecessary expenses. The step number 2 is to create a budget and start to have a strategy to save up money. And step number 3 is to shop smart. Sometimes living below our means is not that easy. We live in a consumer-centered society and temptations are everywhere. And there is also social life. Meeting up for dinner or lunch with our friends, how could you spend less on that? The specialist says that the 5 people that we spend the most time with impact us immensely. So if your friends are keen to go out on Saturday nights or go out and have dinner every week, how can you change that? Guys, it's so simple and so difficult at the same time. You have to start saying no. Yes, you have to start saying no to all of those invitations. If you don't know how to say no, because it's not that easy sometimes, you can start telling them that at the moment you have other priorities, but you still would love to go out with them. Maybe you can meet up for a coffee instead or for a walk at the park. So you can still have a social life, but it doesn't impact your wallet so much. As I said at the beginning, living below your means does not mean to sacrifice everything. You can still splurge from time to time. What will change is actually you. you will start setting priorities, and those priorities will allow you to save up money and time and spend them on whatever you really enjoy. I really hope that this video was useful, and if it was, please make sure to leave a thumbs up and leave in the comments below if you have any questions or if you have other tips and tricks that you use to save up money, so we can all learn from it. And I'll see you the next time. See ya!